attachment to it. And I'm like, how do you not like Michelle Branch? Like, the song is great.
I don't know. I think she should be shot. Let's move on.
Shot. Someone should gun her down.
All right. Let's get a handful. We spent a long time on one of those.
Yeah.
So let's try and get. How you feeling about 3 more?
All right. Yeah. Let's do it.
I'm not answering. I'm not asking that question. You know what? I'll read it. I'm not answering this. White guy dangerously close to accidentally saying the N-word because of this podcast.
Nice.
Be careful, guys. Be careful.
Dude,
he wrote in. He says, "Hey, crabs. What's the most embarrassing piece of non-porn you've jerked off to? For me, it was an episode of Big Bang Theory when I was 14.
Wow.
Good time. That's crazy.
Wow.
I've definitely.
I mean, what's sexy in that show?
Oh man,
I don't know, man.
I can tell you guys, will never. I'll never live it down. So I can't. I'll never live it down. So I'll just keep that silent.
It's a safe space.
I want you guys to understand it is fucking hilarious, but I'm not gonna tell you guys. It is. You guys would howl. I swear. If you guys figured it out.
Then fucking say it. It would be good for the show.
Somebody reveals.
Tell you what. I'll say it. I'll say it if you say it. And that's a promise.
You have my word. You have my word. If you say it, I'll say it. So
no. You have to go first.
Okay. So there is Is this gonna sound crazy? Because I can't ease my way into this. There is a point. I can't even. This is gonna sound so wild. There's a point in Alvin and the Chipmunks where there is a really hot girl with no bra on in the Alvin and the Chipmunks live action movie that I jacked off to. And I look back at that moment, and every time I look back at that moment, I feel like such a barbarian. I hate the person I was and am because of that. And what happens is that during the scene, it goes to the chipmunks, and I'm like, oh man, these are fucking chipmunks, and I have to wait. And then this prolongs the process even more. And I'm like, this is the most terrible.
He's just fucking edging.
Waiting
for them chipmunks to get off the screen.
Fucking thing. Let's hear yours, Chris.
Cool. That's pretty cool. I like that one.
It's so embarrassing, dude.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
That's so. That is
a good answer.
That is really.
It's horrible.
That's a pretty good answer. I don't know if I could top that, to be honest. I think so. I'm trying to remember. There's like a few of them that I know is. Oh no.
You ever jerked off to a really curvy tree?
No. God damn it.
Sounds like
it was I don't remember what episode it was. But it was some episode it was some episode of Modern Family. And it was Sofia Vergara, but I don't remember what the fuck. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember the exact instance because I never went back to it at a certain point because I realized I could just look up whatever the fuck I wanted
anymore. I can't touch.
Well, no, I could just Google porn. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that might be it. I don't remember what episode. I wish I could, but that's the one that comes to mind anyway. I'm sure there were a lot of other ones.
The moment you realize
that I'm blanking porn, from my memory,
you're like, oh wait, all of this other magazines and attractive whistles and curvaceous fire hydrants, these mean nothing to me now. I can watch real pornography.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my memory, and I've never done anything like that wasn't or adjacent to porn. Like, say the closest thing was my mom. She would buy these Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions. Mm-hmm. And like those are like they're adjacent though, right? But it's not.
Yeah, they are adjacent.
So like that would be. But other than that, I always, even though it was fucking dial up, man, I don't give a fuck. I'd get up late at night, download some shit, burn it on a disc, and had this fucking pimp ass disc that's full of way too much shit. To one point that like I thought
that's back when porn was way more graphic too. So you were getting anything.
I had a lot of my favorite when I was in middle school was was like sorority type shit. It was like college, because that was the fantasy. Like, oh man, I will fucking fuck all these girls. And so it would be like, oh, clearly some chick that's not in college, but that's just the title. It's like that barely 18 shit when they're like 30 or whatever. They're just saying whatever.
Yeah. That woman
they just say whatever.
That woman has mother areolas, dude. What did you do?
Yeah,
That's
bro, her nipples
dude.
Are blown out for being sucked on.
Dude, I used to know. Dude, I used to know exactly. Do you remember those Girls Gone Wild ads on Comedy Central?
God, on Comedy Central, exactly.
Dun, dun, dun.
1:45
I knew
p.m.
exactly.
1:45 a.m., bro. 1:45 a.m.
Dude, 1:45 a.m. or something like that. Where I was like,
for me, it was 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember being like, I know it's coming, and I would just wait. I would wait, and they would be like, you get like a minute and a half. You get like a minute and a half max. So it like you really had to be quick about it.
You gotta use your time to spend right, man.
Funny.
Dude,
I had it down to the fucking minute. Down to the fucking minute. I knew exactly when they would show up. So fucking funny.
My uncle is, I don't know why it's, it's a weird thing, right? It's like all uncles I've been, like, why is it always the uncle that's the pervert? Even though, like, you don't turn into an uncle. There's a criteria to turn into an uncle. But why is it when there's like a degenerate in the family, it's always the uncle? And what I mean by that is
boys are degenerates in general.
Yeah. So is it just every guy, and then I
think it's also because the word uncle is just such a fucking silly sounding, like in comparison to everything else.
That's my uncle over there.
Yeah, that's my uncle. The fuck?
Like, say, look at my dad before he passed. I don't think he was that guy, and he probably was an uncle to one of his brothers or something.
Well, everybody's an uncle to someone. That's the thing.
But then, but he wasn't the guy. But then my dad's one of his brothers, he became that guy. He was the uncle, and so. He was the biggest degenerate ever, where he didn't even try to hide his porn or anything. There was a gun next to his porn that I easily had access to. There was a shotgun.
I definitely played one of my uncle's guns before. It didn't have a clip in it. But I definitely one time, because I was like, why did I get a beating? I was trying to reflect on why I got a beating one time. And my grandmother filled me in on a story. I definitely went in my uncle's room, dug through, tried to find some of his comic books, found a gun, came out, was like, Grandma, look what I got. She was like, oh, no, he will pull the trigger and not have a clue why anything went wrong. She got it from me, beat my ass, and I was just sitting in my room like, wait, what did I do this time?
You got your ass beaten. You didn't even know what you did. That's fucked up.
What did I do? She scolded me, right? She scold when I do wrong thing. Me no do wrong thing now. Me just wave toy in air.
You just wave toy. Yeah.
That's so fucking crazy.
I had a lot of good material. I had a lot of good material with my uncle. I just say that. Like, the last thing I'll say, move on. Just, we're sitting down watching Comedy Central or something or whatever. We're bored, so he starts flipping the channels. And this fucking guy, he knows. Now, I'm a dumb kid. So he paid for some of the spicy channels. Right?
Yeah.
And so he's flipping, and he's pretending that he's flipping arbitrarily, but then it goes to like some of the porn. And I remember this blonde chick with huge titties rubbing them and moaning, and he's looking at me like he's all surprised that he flipped on it, where clearly you have to go to the high channels. I got older, and I'm like, what a fucking pervert. I'm a kid, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna awaken this motherfucker. And he's just flipping through porn channels, and like, there's some chick just grabbing her titties, looking like she just can't take it anymore, like she just wants you so badly. And I'm looking at the screen like,
he set you down the path, bro. He tried to set you down the path of darkness, bro.
In hindsight, I'm like, I wouldn't do that to my nephew.
What's so weird right now? I'm the uncle. I'm like the everyone comes to talk to me because I'm like the emotionally intelligent uncle in my family. Like my niece, whatever, she's like having really hard trouble, or like the cousin. It's insane.
That is a wild family, man. Holy shit.
Dude, my family's, the only person that was normal was my grandma, but she was normal by other people's standards. She was still crazy, but she was like, she appeared, she played normal well. She was like, oh, I present as a regular person. But now, like, talking to like my niece being like, Uncle King says, I really appreciate you being there to talk to about crazy stuff. You're very, like, upstanding. And I'm like, Brianna, I tried to fuck Ben Gay more than once. I'm not an upstanding person at all. I'm a piece of shit. But in her mind, I'm like a good uncle. It's so insane thinking. Like when Lily met them and how much they loved me and how much they like really looked up to me. And they're like, do they know who you are? And I'm like, nah, they don't. They have no clue the kind of person I really am.
Yeah, that's the only way that people can. That's the only way that people can look up to you is if they don't know who you are.
Really?
Everybody's like. I remember. It's funny too because like I remember seeing. Do you guys remember that sentiment of like? I guess it's not like a dead sentiment. It's probably just like a generalized kind of saying at this point, but it's like never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You know, where like the idea it's like, oh, if you meet them, they'll disappoint you, and it's like,
yeah.
I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like everybody should meet their heroes because it just sort of like, oh, they're people.
Right.
It's exactly what should be happening. In fact, it's exactly how people should react to meeting people that they admire. It's like, oh, you're just a person. Cool. As opposed to just like putting them on like this weird pedestal. I remember I felt weird for so long going back home and like my nephews and my nieces would be like, oh man, Chris is here, the star. And it's like, you don't even understand.
I'm a fuck up kid.
You don't even understand.
I'm a fuck up kid. You have do better.
Yeah, do significantly better.
Like you have a crippling porn addiction too? Wow. That's crazy. I thought I was alone.
Yeah. Whoa, you have 10,000 bookmarks as well?
Dude, when we were talking about the bookmarks and everybody thought we were crazy. I thought it was insane that people didn't have bookmark porn. We were talking. Were you there for that? You were, right?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh my god, we were talking about bookmark porn.
What are you
Everybody was
talking
looking
about?
at me like I was some sort of fucking alien. And I was like, you guys don't have bookmarks? What do you mean? What do you mean? Lily was like, I use your computer. I've never seen bookmarks again. You'll never find. You'll have to go through so much shit to find those bookmarks, girl. I'll definitely be home before you find them.
Dude, I have fake folders. I have fake folders on top of fake folders on top of fake folders.
That's
I got
You'll never fucking get them.
to a picture of a fuck you sign. Like, haha, you're not gonna get them. You're trying.
That's so fucking. That's so insane.
I used to. They're the good. I don't. I'm pretty. Everything is just. If you truly don't want to trace, everything stays online. Everything is online, man. Everything is everything is private.
Yeah, I just don't care. Yeah, I've stopped caring about how private something. Like, you know, it's like whatever. Like I'm not watching crazy shit.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I was never. Yeah, there was never anything like say. I always think of it this way: if I died, would I be content with like? Well, it doesn't matter if I'm content. I'm dead, but you know, meaning like say right now, I'm just thinking. Was there anything I'd be like, holy shit, like, they might find this, and I'm like, nah, I don't have anything like that, so.
The funniest, the most wild thing I've ever looked up on a computer of mine was Mr. Hands, and I didn't look at it for fucking sexual purposes. I looked at it to hear the sound he made when that horse put his dick in him, and he was like, and immediately I was like, oh, that guy's gonna die. I was like, that guy
he's gone.
Is dead. This is really unfortunate. I'm watching someone die. But it was so I've never laughed like that in my life, dude. I always got malware
on my computer when I was a kid. And it was like it installed some like naked chick on the front of the desktop. And if you clicked her, pussy would moan. And I was like, oh no. I was like, what do I do? I was like,
I hated those fucking
factory reset that whole bitch, bro. You had to reset that entire bitch.
Dude, honestly, for real, imagine for just a brief moment having that installed on purpose. Like, that was something that people would make that for the purpose of, like, people would install that shit on their computer, like have like a naked woman straddling the fucking taskbar. That is so fucking insane.
Primitive, bro.
Bro, I was terrified because that was the family computer. I was like, oh my god, how do I get rid of this? This was before I like knew how to like search through and everything.
even on your personal computer, having that is so fucking overkill.
Yeah.
That's so outrageous.
It's barbaric, bro. It's like what is wrong? Like, you don't deserve anything.
It's pretty crazy.
It's fucking barbarism, man, because it's not hot. She's just it's just this awkward. It's this awkward, tiny, naked lady, fucking the size of like barely your phone.
Yeah.
No, man. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's get this one.
Couple more.
Yeah.